Good morning, everybody. Looks like for the most part, we are still following our trade plan from last night. We were looking at that value from 307 up to 385. 307 being the value low here. So if we stay below that level, which is our current trade plan, you are looking pretty bearish, overnight low and then lower value. If you stay above that level, we are still rotating this overlap over the last couple of days. That would go back to 85 and around 410. And for the higher time frames, you get really bullish if it can stay above 410 because you're recovering that first value we built up after the sell-off. So any buy pressure basically to 410 could still be bearish on the higher time frames, but short term, obviously, that's a 100-point move, so could be pretty bullish. But if they can't stay above 410, probably going to come back down. So keep an eye on that 307. If you stay above that, you're slightly bullish. If you stay below it, then you're probably going to retest that lower tail. You do have a little bit of a P-shaped profile here, but you could be setting up for a P-shaped failure if it stays below that 307. All right, taking a look at NASDAQ, same story here. Staying above that 577, you are still rotating and possibly pushing back to that overlapping value. If it stays below the 577, you are continuing lower, pushing all of these lows. So the low of day and the overnight low. Right now, we're still in that rotation. Look for that 011 and then the 375. There's a lot of sell pressure on the open, then you're going to turn into a P-shaped failure, and it will be looking for a lower value. Keep an eye on VWAP here, 300 and 685. We did have PPI data this morning. Let's take a look at that. 0.4 over 0.5, 1.1 over 0.7, and 229 over 220 for unemployment. Still not seeing a major reaction on the PPI data or the CPI data. So still not, they're continuing that pattern of those data points kind of losing their steam. They don't really have that power they used to have. We are coming up on those very long-term VWAPs going back to the bottom of the Iran war. So the Iran war kind of pushed us down here. You created that bottom. If you pull a VWAP from that, here we are right here. So 71.95 and around 28,000. So if we can hold on to those VWAPs, this is still long-term very bullish. But if we start losing that VWAP, this becomes a problem. Then it starts pushing down towards that March and April bottom. So keep an eye on those long-term VWAPs. VWAP not showing a lot of buy pressure so far. A little bit of buy pressure on NASDAQ. You do have a lot of delta coming in, but it's just not able to stay above VWAP. They're kind of getting absorbed here. Yeah, look at the bull div here. Look at the delta. A lot of buyer delta coming in. Just getting stuck. Good morning, everybody. Want Asparagus, AT, Panama, Mick, Scott, Future. Good morning, Matt, Tamer, Leo, Luis, Larry. Good morning, Peter, Julio, eBay, Banana, Lumir, Lulu, Scott, Typhoon, Greg. Good morning, Andreas, Ronaldo. Good morning, Christian, Crown, Blood, Ike. Good morning, Channel, Wilford, Chuck, Roman. Good morning, Michael. Good morning, Hybrid, Sean, Joseph, Carini. Appreciate you guys being here. No, Michael, I would never touch VWAP. Anybody who tells you to touch VWAP and change the settings, they probably haven't been trading for very long. VWAP is probably the most powerful indicator in trading, probably the most widely used indicator in trading. You shouldn't mess with it. Now, there are different ways to use VWAP. You could have the daily VWAP start at 9:30, the session VWAP start at 6 p.m. the prior day. You could do anchored VWAPs like I was just showing on the higher time frames. You could do VWAP bands, all that stuff. There's many different ways you can use VWAP, but you should not play with the settings. Still fighting VWAP here. Still seeing a lot of bullish delta, but it is still being absorbed. They're not really pushing away from VWAP. Do we have any data after the bell? Only at 1 p.m. We have a 30-year bond auction at 1 p.m. Yeah, Karina, that should be the standard. Still seeing a little bit of a bearish bias, even though we have a P-shaped profile. So typically, that is going to tell you that it's a P-shaped failure, right? If it stays below those value lows, you're kind of pushing that tail. It's not super weak just yet. You're still slightly above the value lows. You got a little bit of value low support. Not a ton. Still sitting on VWAP here on NASDAQ. Trying really hard to protect it. Very red day on the tech sector, one of the tech sectors at least. Pretty green on semiconductors. You don't see that very often, where one tech sector is red and the other one is green. So services are getting hit. Pretty green other than that. Dollar is decently flat. It's going up a little bit. Not too much. I don't think there's a gap today. It didn't really appear. Do I prefer any profile shapes? Usually the ones like today, like P shapes or lowercase b's, they're usually better. They usually give you a lot of good trading opportunities. Good morning, HC, Roma. Good morning, Wally, Jeff. Good morning, T, Stream, Amatesh, Joseph Carini. Do I look at big EMAs like 50s, 100s, 200s? Not usually, unless I'm doing like long-term analysis. But for day trading, not so much. They're just way too slow. Especially in our current market. Current market is just so damn fast. I mean, look at our liquidity. It's just non-existent. I don't think my data just disconnected. Yeah, my data just disconnected. Give me 1 second. Not sure why. Okay, reconnecting did not work. Let me try to restart here. Are you guys having data issues as well, or is it just me? You're having issues as well? Okay, so it's not just me. Have a good day, killer. Yeah, I'm restarting Addis. We'll see if it fixes it. I think it fixed it. What price are we at? Yeah, it should be good now. Okay, so I think if you restart, you should be all right. With NT, yeah, just go ahead and restart. So what I did is I disconnected my connection, reconnected, and then just restarted the whole platform. Okay, this is the value low support we were talking about, so it is being respected, and they are pushing it back to the value high. So we are still rotating for now. If it stays above 38, we are not rotating anymore. It is trending. We will see if it can stay above 38. Seems like a lot of the companies are bouncing right now. It's like across the board. Look at the semiconductors and the tech companies doing really well. Intel up 10%, AMD 5. The move on Oracle was from earnings. They had a bad earnings move. I think they lowered their guidance, I believe. Here's a good example of a bulldog. Man, the ranges The ranges that we are trading in right now are just crazy. We're already up 50 points off the low on ES. That's kind of crazy. You guys need to be very careful with sizing right now. Your sizing should probably be at a minimum half of what you're normally trading. Obviously, if you're struggling, if you're not doing good. If you're doing good, then just keep doing whatever the hell you're doing. But if you're struggling, I would definitely cut your size in half at a minimum. We are just moving right now. 200 points off the low on NASDAQ and 50 points off the low on ES. Want a rider? Pretty weak value on that push. You're just not really seeing a lot of fight back from the sellers. This is that bull div finally playing out. No, I'm still waiting on the promo code. I just sent them a message today asking them if it's going to be done by the weekend. I'm not sure what's taking so long. I think it has to go through a bunch of approval. Like I was saying, they don't really like doing promo codes, so it has to go through a bunch of people. I asked him if it'll be done before tomorrow, because I probably have time to do it tomorrow or on Saturday. If I don't get it by Saturday, then it's going to have to wait again. Yeah, the UFC event should be really good. It's weird that it's on Sunday. They're always on Saturday, so when I saw that it was a little shocking. Oh, is it Trump's birthday on Saturday? Is that why? Or on Sunday, I mean? Yeah, I'm not sure why they picked Sunday. That might be why. How's our weather looking? It was gonna rain before. Let me see. Yeah, still says it's gonna rain. And it also, excuse me, I was yawning, sorry. And it also says it's gonna rain like pretty much right on the event. It's not gonna rain like any time after. It's basically only on the event. Starts raining at like 1 to 2 p.m. and then goes until I think like 12. Gotcha. So it is the president's birthday. Okay. Yeah, I was wondering why they picked Sunday. That makes sense. Yeah, you can use the footprint on any time frame you want. I just prefer the 30-minute. Funny enough, we used to use this on the 5-minute on our stream for a long time. But then I just slowly transitioned into the 30-minute. And I liked the larger consolidated candles. They still don't like this value high here. They're trying to push that upper tail, but they just don't have the buyers up here. They're trying to push that 40 level back into the rotation of yesterday, back to 85. Here's that 11 target on NASDAQ, and then we have the 375. So we have finished the retrace on NQ. We have not finished it on ES. No, I don't watch soccer or football for you guys in Europe. I don't watch really anything except for UFC. Everything else is just boring, in my opinion. It's just not really exciting to watch. Come on, Faraj. Yeah, stage is cool. It's gonna be interesting. I'm just hoping there's no like security threats, like bomb threats or people just being crazy. We've had a couple of shootings outside the White House over the last few months. So if stuff like that happens, they're just gonna probably cancel the event, but we'll see. I'm sure they got it locked down. kind of like a bulldog here. It's not exactly a bulldog, but it has to stay above like 20. If it stays above 20, that is a failure to rotate, and it wants to continue higher. The market will be sideways during the football matches. Yeah, that'd be funny. Everybody's busy. So how long does the World Cup go on? It's like a month or two, right? It's like 2 months? A little over a month? Gotcha. Yeah, I'll probably watch like I'll watch like the finals. That's usually when I tune in. It's kind of like hockey. Like if you watch hockey playoffs, they're really fun to watch. Who is like objectively the favorite? I know you guys are just gonna say your country, but like who is like objectively the favorite? We'll see if you guys agree. I probably started a war in chat. A lot of people are saying France, Spain, Portugal. France. Okay, so it seems like the consensus is France. Got it. Seeing a couple of Portugal. Is it like obviously France? Like, are they just way better than everybody else? Or is it like kind of close? It's sort of close, but they're a solid team. Gotcha. Yeah, I know the World Cup, like the final is in what, California, I believe. But where are they doing the other matches? Like, is it a set place on the world, on the globe, or is it like just all over the place? As you can tell, I don't know shit about these sports. I don't watch them at all. Keep it on VWAP, 310 to 304, losing that 24 here. It's US, Canada, and Mexico. It's just in the US? Okay, so it's all of them. Gotcha. So it's all of North America, basically. And then they're just doing the final in California. I think it's California. It's usually one country. This time it's 3 countries. Gotcha. Here's that VWAP, 310 to 304. Oh, it's not in California. It's in New Jersey. Gotcha. Okay. I don't know why I thought it was California. I thought I heard that. Is California the Olympics? I thought they were getting something. Is that what it is? Yeah, it's the Olympics, right? They're getting the 2028 Olympics. Here's that VWAP. Oh, the first game in the US is also in LA. That might have been something I was hearing as well, yeah. So there's a little node right below VWAP here that's protecting it. There's a little node at 300. Well, I say little, it's actually the POC. The POC node is protecting it. Yeah, traffic is going to be a little crazy. I think the last time we had a Olympics, what was it in? It was in Georgia, I believe. Wasn't it in like Athens or Atlanta or something like that? They can't do it around the capital, that's for sure. Our traffic is like the worst in the country. It's really bad. Trying to lose that POC here. You are just in a standard rotation. It's not failing to rotate. They are trying to rotate back down to 650 on NASDAQ, and that would be 88 on ES. Was it in Atlanta? Bombing at CNN. I don't see anything. I don't see any headlines if it was like just now. I'm not sure. Good morning, Adriana. Yeah, I don't think they're doing any World Cup stuff around the Capitol because we don't really have a stadium that they could use. I don't think they can use the Redskins or whatever. What are they? The Commanders now, whatever they're called. I don't think they can use their stadium. I don't think it's big enough. I'm not sure. Oh, you're talking about the Atlanta Olympics. I got you. Yeah, yeah. I thought you meant right now. Okay, here comes that rotation session VWAP on NASDAQ at 744. Yeah, I believe like over the next few days, the US will be striking Iran. So definitely watch out for those headlines. It's always going into the weekend, right? So either today or going into Sunday. Yeah, the overnight profile helps a lot for sure. The ticket prices are insane. $2,500 for the lowest. That's crazy. Sports fans, man. Sports fans spend a lot of money. I save a lot of money not being into sports. Because UFC, you don't really spend money on UFC. There's not really like jerseys and shit like that, right? They do have some pretty cool merch I've seen every now and then. But yeah, I don't go to UFC. I mean, I used to spend money on pay-per-view. We don't have to do that anymore. They have the Paramount deal. You spend $15 or whatever. I don't do sports betting. So it doesn't cost me very much to be a UFC fan. Yeah, I couldn't see spending that much money going to a game. $1.5 million for a VIP ticket. Oh, for the White House one? Yeah, because it's extremely limited. There's a very, very small amount of people that can fit into that area. They're doing like a fan area, like outside. It's not like right at the event, but it's like kind of outside the White House. And I think you have to pay for those tickets as well. I'm not sure. Yeah, regular UFC tickets are very expensive. We've looked at it before. Me and my friends were looking at them. It's not really worth it. If you want the good seats, the seats that are like on the bottom, like where you're around the cage, you're talking like $5,000 usually. When you can just chill at your house and have a good time watching it on the screen and see more. Keep an eye on that VWAP here, 742. You have not finished that rotation just yet. You're pretty much finished on ES, not on NASDAQ. NASDAQ has to go down to 650. The arenas aren't well designed. Yeah, they're not great. I think you're there more for like the atmosphere and the experience, but you can't see shit. There's no way that you could actually see what's going on. You see like two stick figures in the distance grabbing each other, you know what I mean? A lot easier to watch like football games or something. You can actually tell what's going on. But fighting, there's just no way. Keep it on the ADMA. You're getting pretty trendy again, trying to lose that VWAP on NASDAQ. Phil, this is just the regular TPO indicator, the market profile TPO indicator. I've obviously changed the settings a little bit, but I'm just using the built-in indicator. Those are the main settings you have to change, the TPO ones. Everything else is pretty much default. You're stuck between the VWAPs again on NASDAQ. You're not on ES. You have lost VWAP. on ES. Did they give us an exact date for the SpaceX IPO? Is it tomorrow? It's tomorrow, right? Yeah, it is tomorrow. Okay. Just double checking. And then we have the OpenAI and I think Anthropic IPOs coming out eventually. I've been using Claude a lot recently, and it's actually crazy what they've been able to accomplish with Claude. And they just released their new version yesterday. They released their first public version of Mythos. It's a very dumbed down version compared to like the actual Mythos program. It's called Fable. I haven't tried it yet. I heard it uses your tokens like crazy. It's even like I think it's like 4 or 5 times worse token wise than Opus. And Opus is like 4 or 5 times worse than Sonnet. And Sonnet's like the regular version. If you guys use Claude. You have to have like the highest tier, like the $200 a month, if you want to actually use Fable. I've been using the regular like $20 a month, and I've been using Opus, and I hit my limit after like 3 or 4 large things. Like if I'm trying to go over code or like redo something big, I hit my 5-hour limit in like 3 or 4 messages. It's pretty rough. That's even with optimization, like with compacting and all that other bullshit. With Sonnet, you can get a lot done with Sonnet, and it doesn't hit your limit as fast. Bouncing off VWAP here on NASDAQ. The max plan lasted you 2 hours on Fable or Opus? Failing to rotate on NASDAQ here. Keep an eye on that 011 level if it gets really bullish here. Standard rotation on ES going back to 27. You are in about a 40-point rotation, which is a wild rotation. That's pretty big. On Fable, that's not too bad on Fable. Max plan, that's the, is that the 100? That's $100 a month, I think. Yeah, Mythos, they had to dumb down because it is very good at security stuff. Which means it can be good maliciously when it comes to security as well. So what they did is they made it so if you ask it anything related to like security or like biology or like shit that could be used for malicious intent, it pushes you back down to Opus. It doesn't let you use Fable. But yeah, in like a year from now, probably a year, if that, the Fable version will basically be the Sonnet version because it's going to get more and more efficient. So then we're just going to be able to use the Fable version, the really good one, with the same tokens as like Sonnet. Hopefully, right? Hopefully. We'll see. I mean, look at how fast we are just whipping back and forth. There is just no sticky liquidity that is keeping you on these levels. You're just constantly whipping back and forth. Yeah, that's the crazy thing about AI. These are the models that we're allowed to use. Like, imagine the models they have internally. They're probably insane. Hey, Joseph, have a good day, man. And how long have they had it exactly? Yeah, they're probably like it. They're probably at least like a year ahead of us. But yeah, I've been really trying to practice and learn more and more every day with Claude because it's just going to get stronger, right? You want to keep up with that program. So like every morning I've been doing like an hour of watching different videos on like tips and tricks and little things you can do with it and all that stuff. I've been building some things on the side just to kind of test it out, play around with it. But yeah, it's only going to get better. Well, Athena's never going to be finished because that's just not like what it's not like an app. It's not like something that can be finished. It's just going to be constantly built upon. And that's kind of what I'm doing with Claude is I'm trying to find all these little ways that I can create a better version of Athena basically. Like I'm building little things that can pull from my videos and throw them into like Notebook LM and create modules like training modules and stuff like that, trade plans and I mean you name it, just little things like that, like educational stuff. And I'm trying to make that as streamlined as possible. But that's basically what I've been working on over the last like few months. Basically since I started it, you know. Like what, like a year ago. Unfortunately, it's on OpenAI right now. It's on ChatGPT. Because they let you make custom AI models and it hides all your backend stuff, like it hides all your files. Personally, I think Grok is stronger than OpenAI, so I've been using Athena on Grok. I can't release that to you guys right now because it doesn't hide the files. So you guys can see all the backend stuff. And then Claude, I think, is even stronger than Grok, but same thing. It doesn't port over as easily. So I'm working on ways to make that better. Yeah, Athena already does that, Roman. That's like the base version of Athena. It doesn't do it perfectly, but it already does that. Or like it can read basic patterns. But it's in like the simplest form. It doesn't have like deep learning models. It doesn't have the best vision either. I think Claude has better vision. Where the AI can like actually see what you're giving it, like the screenshots and whatnot. There's no direct plugin for Claude right now with TradingView. That's what I was looking up today and seeing how to build that plugin. You can do it manually. So you can basically have it create like an agent that logs into TradingView. It waits for the TradingView charts to load. It screenshots them. It sends it to Claude Vision, which is the way to analyze pictures. So it uses Claude Vision, analyzes the picture, and then it can build like a trade plan or find your levels or whatever. But I haven't started doing that yet. I'm in like the brainstorming phase of that. Yeah, the Athena bot on Grok is really good because it uses like the live data from Grok. Or from Twitter, I mean. Failing to rotate to the upside here on ES because you still need to finish the rotation to the downside on NASDAQ. No, I only had one small issue on Rhythmic. I just had to restart my platform and it was gone. Yeah, you can make bots fairly easily, but are they going to be good and consistent? You know what I mean? That's the hard part. But you can do something like webhooks. TradingView has had webhooks for a long time. So you can have your alerts set into webhooks. You could have the webhooks sent to your Claude bot, and then you could tie your Claude bot into your broker, and it could take trades. Now, it's not as easy as what I just said. You still got to do a lot of fancy shit. But that is the basic workflow. Is you take the alert, you turn the alert into a webhook, the webhook goes into the Claude agent, the agent ties into the broker takes the trade. But that's all determined on your webhook, on your alert, right? So if your alert is dog shit, then your trade is dog shit. No, I was looking up TradingView MCPs today. I didn't see that there was like a good one yet. Are they starting to make one? Trades, funny enough, you can just use AI to teach you AI. Use AI and use YouTube. Those are your two main things. There are tons of courses, tons of videos on YouTube. Like I said, I've been watching like at least an hour of videos like every single day. Just basically videos on Claude. But yeah, you can literally just use AI to teach you AI. Just have it teach you whatever you don't understand. Well, that's exactly what I was just saying, Roman. That entire workflow I was just going over, that is how to use TradingView with your Claude AI. It uses Vision, just the built-in image reading software. Claude already has systems where it can use your computer as you would. So it basically just uses your computer, logs into TradingView, takes a screenshot like a human would, and then just reads it. Now the question is, how good is it at reading TradingView charts? How good is it at reading technical analysis and indicators and all that shit? That is what Athena is for. That is what I would have to train it. Yeah, webhooks have been around forever on TradingView, but now you can just tie them into AI. Still protecting that same POC here. You're trying to rotate higher on ES because you finished the downward rotation. You did not finish it on NASDAQ, so you're failing to rotate on NASDAQ. But it is bouncing off VWAP damn near to the tick. I don't set these anchored VWAPs, they are just automatic. It's just the daily and the full session. Yeah, there are community driven like MCPs for TradingView, but there's not an official one. I think there's a pretty popular one on GitHub that a lot of people use. I'll take a look at it. Still trending above these EMAs here, trying to rotate back into that value high. Still a very large rotation here. It is around 87 to 27. Notice the value high and high of day are basically just the POC of yesterday. So it looks like it's slightly bullish because of that P shape, but you're still just back testing this like bottom heavy value here, and it's not really liking that value. So until you hold above that, this could still be a bearish back test. It needs to hold above, where is that, around 40. Doing a lot better than what it was earlier. Very green on manufacturing, probably because of the PPI data. Tech is doing good. Pretty much everything is slightly green, little bounce. Now this is a little worrying. Keep an eye on that dollar move. If that dollar move continues, it is very hard to trust buy pressure across the entire market right now. If you remember what nuked us on Friday, it was that big move on the dollar, right? Obviously, a little bit of headlines and whatnot as well, but mostly the dollar. It's really hard to tell which rotation is leading the market right now because you're trying to rotate downward on NASDAQ to finish that rotation. And that goes down to, where was it? That goes down to 680 because you have not finished that first rotation. We did finish it on ES. We finished it right here. So then you tried to push back up into the value high, which obviously is being pulled down. So it's really hard to tell which one is leading. If you lose VWAP here, I would say NASDAQ is probably leading us down, trying to rotate back down to that value low. Keep an eye on that VWAP here. If it pushes this VWAP, it should finish that rotation. You can see we're in a pretty heavy balance since that overnight high here. The overnight low to overnight high, very one directional. You can see the trend. It's probably hard to see actually. Let me see if I can make it easier. Where would that be here? Oh, here it is. Okay, a little bit easier to see there. So overnight low to overnight high, very one directional, pushing our value higher and higher and higher. POC on the high of the overnight. Then we lose the overnight high, and now we are just chopping, chopping, chopping. Very large balance. And somebody mentioned this earlier, but kind of like the value low of the overnight is also the low a day here. Yeah, losing that 80 level is pretty bearish. This is another really cool tool, by the way, that they added on the new update. It's the zigzag TPO. You can like draw your levels, and it will draw a volume profile and TPO from that level. The rotation would be from the value high to value low, so it depends on which side of the rotation you're in. So like right now on ES, you're rotating downward, and so is NASDAQ. Okay, finally, rotation is being finished on NASDAQ. Keep an eye on the value low of yesterday around 577. Losing that level gets very bad. That's where the sellers start to pick up. It is getting very aggressive. It's staying below that ADMA the entire time once it lost VWAP here. Yeah, Flux is awesome, man. It helps a lot with eye strain. If you're sitting on your computer for 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, whatever, it definitely helps with the eye strain. You do have single prints going up to 81. Big bearish block trade there, 900 contracts on NASDAQ. You're already pushing the tail on ES. Keep an eye on the lower the tail around 32. Something going on in the Pentagon might be helping us go down here. Pentagon is locked down with hazmat teams responding. Multiple floors and corridors inside the Pentagon have been locked down and others are being evacuated. 3 sources familiar with the situation tell CNN. They're saying their systems have detected an air quality issue. They're just taking precautionary measures. Might be something small, might be something big, don't know. You could say the sell pressure is being helped a little bit. Single print's filled in, by the way. Yeah, the only details we're getting is it was an air quality issue. Keep an eye on the 24 EMA. Trying to put in a higher low here. Bullish delta coming in here with block trades. 1,000 contract block trade at 89. keep an eye on the bear flag and the VWAP here. You're hitting VWAP already on NASDAQ, but it needs like one more push on ES. Here is the VWAP on ES, another block trade into VWAP, 1,000 contracts. Yeah, I'm not muted. I'm good. Good morning. Okay, I was speaking to Addis. The code should be available this weekend. So I should be able to make the video on Saturday, going over all the new settings and the widgets and stuff like that. So be on the lookout for that on Saturday. Well, I'll make it on Saturday. That doesn't mean it'll be released on Saturday. If I can get it done early, I'll probably put it out on Saturday, like 4 or 5 p.m., somewhere around there. If it's too late, I'll put it out on like Sunday or Monday. Still no update on the Pentagon stuff. You never know with block trades. They can be grabbing liquidity or they can be like momentum. These ones would be more so momentum. The red one would obviously be more grabbing liquidity. You do not like to see them on high of day or low of day. They're typically grabbing. So this one is on low of day. Likely it's grabbing and then reversing. These are not on high of day, so they're more likely to be momentum based. Yeah, exactly. You don't know if it's opening or closing, which is why I don't do that kind of analysis because it's just a waste of time. Like constantly trying to fight the idea of like, is it opening? Are they buying here? Are they buying to open? Are they buying to close? It's just not worth the time it takes to figure that out. They just come in green if they're above the market. They come in red if they're below the market. It's that simple. Now there are tools, like there are ways to do that analysis. But like I said, in my opinion, I just think it's not worth your time. I constantly talk about time in, value out, how much time you got to put into something. Is it actually providing you value? I don't think that is actually providing you value. It doesn't actually matter. Well, Chuck, how would a retail person be trading 1,000 contracts? And even like, how would a retail person be trading 100 contracts? Maybe like the top 0.0001% of retail traders who are just balling in their mansions and trading insane amounts of money, but not usually. Yeah, that was me. My bad. Pressed the wrong button. Added a zero. Yeah, it doesn't matter who it is. It's just not a guy in his pajamas at his house trading. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter if it's like one institution or a hedge fund or whatever. It's just not a guy in his sweatpants. Yeah, exactly. That's the benefit of being a retail trader, right? You don't have to put on a suit and tie to trade. Unless you're one of those streamers that are insanely performative. I don't know. That shit's performative to me. I mean, some people like looking nice on stream if they're using a webcam. I get it. I don't know. I think it's mostly performative. They want to look like they're this like high level businessman. Sweatpants and 5 micros. Yeah, exactly. Bear flag in the VWAP here still. Still no update on the Pentagon. They're still cleaning it out, I guess. Yeah, there's a couple of random instances where like retail traders with a shit ton of money who you wouldn't even really say as a retail trader at that point. They just have so much money. They're basically trading the size of a small fund or a big fund, right? They're just doing it in a retail sense. Like they're just kind of trading by themselves. And they have been known to cause little issues here and there. But like I said, at that point, you're not considering that person a retail person. They're throwing around like hundreds of millions of dollars. In the technical sense, yes, retail, but is it actually retail? Not really. Yeah, mistakes with their algorithms, stuff like that. Yep. Fair flag in the VWAP here. Conservative target is around like 80-ish, 80, 82. And then aggressive probably around 65, 70. Yeah, but the 20 Apex accounts are not touching the market. Vast majority of the time, they're sim accounts, even if they're paid. The amount of people that have like 20 live prop firm accounts is extremely, extremely small. On Apex, it's probably 0 right now because they just redid their system. Yeah, prop firms are not touching the system. They're not doing anything to these markets. The online prop firms that we're using. The big boys like SMB, like the actual firms, they're obviously doing all right. Just accept the fact that nobody in here, myself included, we're basically never going to move the market. We're not going to move these markets. We could move a penny stock market very easily, but we're not touching these indexes. This is a low liquidity day. And even right now, you would have to trade like 25 bigs to even move the market one tick. One singular tick with 25 bigs. There's probably like one or two people in here, if that are trading 25 bigs. And those who are wouldn't tell you. Yeah, exactly. The bigs are like the regular ES contracts. They are the big contract, the normal contract. The smalls are like the MES, like the micros. All right, sorry, I had to check something real fast. All right, sorry, I had some scam shit going on. Had to double check something. You're saying my charts are a little bit behind yours? Let me see. No, mine are good. I'm double checking it across all my data feeds. Pretty much the same. I think it's on your end. It also might just be the delay. You have a delay, obviously. Typically, you're going to have like a 6 to 10 second delay. If you right click the video, like the screen, there's a button that says stats. Just press the stats button. It will tell you your delay. You should have less than 10 seconds. It should be around 5 to 10. Did they say anything about the Pentagon yet? I don't think so. But all right, guys, we are going to call it here. I will be streaming in Discord the rest of the day. I'll see you guys then. I finally got that code from Addis, so I will be making that video this weekend. I don't know the exact day I'll release the video, so just keep an eye out for it. I'm gonna make it on Saturday. If I'm done really early, I'll put it out on Saturday. If it's not done very early, I'll put it out on either Sunday or Monday. And that video is going to be going over all the new settings. If you guys want to match my settings, I'm going to go over the widgets. I'm not going to talk about the heat map. I'm going to make a separate video on the heat map, I think. But everything else, we're going to go over all the new stuff. And then I'm going to have a promo code in the video. I know a lot of you guys have been asking about getting Addis and getting a promo code, which they very rarely do, typically only holidays. That's awesome. They gave me one. But that will be on the video as well. And I'll talk about it during the video. But if you guys purchase a lifetime or a annual plan using the promo code, I'll probably throw in some Discord as well. So you'll probably get like 1 month or like 3 months of Discord access if you do use the code. I'll talk about it on the video. So yeah, that'll come out most likely Saturday to Monday, somewhere around then. Later today, another short coming out. It's Thursday, of course. Then Saturday, Sunday, 2 more shorts, right? 1 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday. Keeping that same schedule. That's all I got. I think the 90% off on Apex, I believe it ends today. If you guys want to use code BREW, you guys can get 90% off on Apex. If you do buy anything with that code, just hold on to those receipts. I'll grab those from you guys at the end of the month. That's all I got. Appreciate being here. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace, everybody.